And let me see here. Yeah, we are online now. Hello, guys. Good evening. I hope life is treating you well this evening. We are here again with Ebenezer and Juvia in order to have another English conversation on our community. This is unbelievable. We normally have these kind of sessions every single Monday evenings, 9 p.m. Brazilian time. And here we set up like specific topic. We sent 15 questions that we are going to tackle. Normally, we don't finish all of them. However, we send as well additional information, additional uh, useful vocabulary that you can use on this conversation or on this session. And as well, we send videos, YouTube videos or TED Talks videos about the topic where you can find useful vocabulary, useful expression that you can utilize here. And that's it, basically how this session works. So if you are like trying to find a good place to practice your English, this is the place. And that's it. Since everybody here know one another, I believe that we can skip the first part that it's the self-presentation. So let's move on directly to the first one, okay? I'm gonna demand you, Ebenezer, please. Could you please read the first question and answer it?
Okay, good evening. It says, the first question, what's imposter syndrome in your own words? Well, I don't know, guys, if you have played that game about the imposter. I don't remember the name of the game, but it was a famous game where it's in like in a I don't know if it's a spaceship cabin that you have to make any tasks, but one of you guys it's an imposter. So when I see this question and I saw that word imposter, that game came to my mind, and I started to think about this imposter. What's imposter in my words? It's like someone that is trying to show something or think something that is doing, but in at the same time he thinks that it's not what he thinks um, that is what he has to do. It's like maybe I have some achievements, some uh, things to do, and mm, maybe you try to do it, and maybe you can think that you are not doing those things very well, and feel like you're a fraud, and it's like a feeling that you don't deserve maybe successful, or maybe everything comes for lucky, or eventually you think that everybody find out that you don't know what to do, and or what are you doing. It's like a feeling of
Mhm,
imposter syndrome.
mhm. Yeah, I believe that the game that you were trying to remember is Among Us, as Jubia sent on the chat. And it was really famous on pandemic
Yeah,
time, if I am not mistaken. Yeah,
Among Us. Yeah.
Among Us. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Ebenezer, and that was a great example, that video game. And I would like to know now from you, Jubia, what do you think imposter syndrome is in your own words?
For me, imposter syndrome happens when you are at school or at work, and usually it happens when you are on these uh, environments and in all these places, and you are you have your things to do, but even if you do all what you have to do, you don't feel it's enough. You don't feel it's good enough. You always have this feeling that what you are giving is horrible, is dumb. You start to think about uh, your yourself, like if you are like something, if you don't uh, complete your task as you wish, you think you are a total mess. You
Mm-hmm.
think you are the worst person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think imposter syndrome is something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you said, it normally happens in an academic context or on professional context. However, I would say that it can happen in any kind of situation in our lives. However, as you said, it's when we start like doubting about ourselves, our capabilities, and we start thinking that we don't deserve what we got. For example, a job position or a promotion, or if we got a scholarship, we start thinking, oh, I don't deserve it. Perhaps there is another person who really deserve it, and I am a fraud. We start thinking that perhaps we did a lot of bad things, that we don't deserve that. And it's, I believe that is related to auto sabotage as well. That was a topic that we talked about some sessions ago. However, I believe it's that when we start doubting about our worth, our capabilities, and we think that we don't deserve what we got. That's in my own words. But we are gonna like go deeper on the next question. So let's move on to the next one. Thanks so much, guys. Julia, it's your turn. Could you please read the second one and answer it?
Yes. Have you ever felt like you didn't deserve your success? Why? Um, yes, I felt many times that I didn't deserve mm, my my achievements, and I don't know. I think this is something that happens when when you don't grow in 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 a healthy family. I think it's something that happens to anyone, but to me, I think this happened because of the the place where I grew up. But I am an adult now, and I do I have a better way to deal with these things, that these thoughts that I have had about myself.
Mhm. Yeah, something interesting that you said about learning how to deal with it is something important, because perhaps in the past we were raised or we grew up in like an environment where we were not like encouraged to celebrate our achievements, and we grew up in that way, and that's why when we get older, we continue with that with that way to live. So we don't see our achievements, we don't see our progress. That's why it's normal to see or that other people's see our own achievements on our value more than us, and that happened as well. And it's something interesting that you mentioned about perhaps the way that we were raised, or the way the environment in we grew up in. Thank you so much for sharing, Hubia and Ebenezer. What about you? Have you ever felt like that, like you were like in the imposter syndrome? um, I forgot the word, but you know what I meant to say.
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, yes, yes. I think everybody in in some time of your life feel this syndrome. In my case, I remember when I started my first job, and I had to travel abroad for this position. And it was like when I had to face real situations, it was like what I'm doing here, or why do I don't know this situation, how I can resolve it. It's like in that case when I felt like I don't deserve this job, and it's like affects emotionally. But when the times pass and you can face that everything could be solved, everything has solution, you start to understanding and you try to have some tools to manage this feeling. But I think it's common. It's like when something you don't know, it's like you feel like you're not prepared, and that's the I think I can relate that situation with the imposter syndrome. In that time, I of course I didn't know this, how you now call this feeling, syndrome, imposter syndrome. But when I was reading the question, I can realize that I have faced that situation before.
Thanks so much. And yeah, I would like to highlight that part that you said. I believe that that happened with everybody in our first job, because we have never been prepared for our first job. I believe that nobody is prepared for the first one. Even though you do a lot of practice, perhaps the last year of your studies at the university, you have at least 6 months to like do your, I don't know how to say practicas in English in that context, but you work like without get paid. So even though you do that, I believe nobody is prepared for the first real job. So yeah, I believe the first one is the most difficult one. But I would say that even though we have already like faced those situations a lot of times, we still feel like the imposter syndrome. So I wanna talk. I wanted to talk about my first job as well, but then I remember that even though we've been like working like 12, 11, 10 years in the area or in the field, we still feel the imposter syndrome. So the last time that I felt like that, it was in a job interview. I believe that the job interview is the moment that you always this imposter syndrome hits, because you know job interviews are difficult and sometimes you don't know the answers, or perhaps you think I should know that answer because I've been working with that so many years. Or and it's even worse when the interviewers say, but it's a basic thing that developers should know, and you start like doubting about your abilities, your skills. So the last time that I felt that was the last year, and unfortunately I didn't pass that job interview. But I believe it's a moment that we think about all of things. So yeah, it's something that happens as well, not just at the beginning, but also not only at the beginning, but also still that happens nowadays or in our current position. So let's move on to the next question. Thank you guys for sharing. Let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna read the third one. Why do achieving people often experience imposter syndrome? I don't know why, but something that I would like to share. I'm not sure if everybody has the same experience, but at least for me, what happens sometimes is that when I achieve something that I always wanted, uh, I don't feel like that happy when the moment is happening at that time. I don't know why. Perhaps I already there is a quotation that's when you have a dream, you feel it three times when you are in the process and when you are like doing that and when that pass, you already passed that. I believe that I spend a lot of my energy in the process. At the point that when I already did it, I don't have like the enough energy to say I did it, I deserve it, and it was really good, and I did a good job. It happens to me like it's something that it's okay. I already did it, but it's I don't feel that excitement that I should. So I believe that I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I am the only one. I believe that so many people feel the same, but that happens to me. So I don't know the answer. I don't know why, but at least for me, when I achieve big things or things that I consider that are big for my personal life, sometimes or most of the time that happens to me that I don't like. It's not like a great celebration because I already spent all of my energy before. I would like to know from you, Hubia, what do you think about it?
I think when you achieve something that you are dreaming of, it's I agree with you. It's something that you usually spend so much energy to achieve that goal. And when you finally uh, get it, you 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 f- I don't know. I think you start to think about what you have to dream now and not live and celebrate the present. And I don't think that we are educated to celebrate our achievements. And this is something that we have to know how to celebrate when you are an adult. I don't know. I think someone has to um give you this knowledge. Knowledge. I think you have to be educated to to celebrate more your
Mhm.
achievements.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that it is a process for someone who is not like used to do that. It's kind of difficult to start celebrating little things, medium things, or big things. So yeah, we have to learn how to do it. Otherwise, we won't feel. Otherwise, I believe it's a waste of time to work so hard to achieve something and don't feel happy. So that's my opinion. So we need to learn how to do it. But I would like to know from
Yes.
you, Ebenezer, what do you think about it?
Well, I think that a human being it's like an ambition kind because human being when they conquer a territory, they it's just like okay they conquer and they they didn't stick in that territory. They continue. Um, uh, I don't know the name of the verb of conquer, but you understand me. But in this case, I think the more you learn, and the more you learn, the more you demand yourself for I don't know if it's perfectionism or it's like okay, you got something, but now you know that there is another grade to achieve, and it's like uh, everybody wants to be successful. It's like I bought an apartment, but now I want to buy I don't know a house with three rooms or something like that. We always want to achieve more and more and being ambitious. I think it is the same with the in the professional situation, or when you when you get a promotion in maybe you think you don't deserve it uh, because maybe you think that your knowledge is not enough for that promotion, and you need to study more, or maybe you want to reach some courses or something like that. It's like human beings not in this case that we are talking about imposter syndrome is like it's not always happy with his its achievements.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks so much. And something that you said that I found really interesting. It's about we as human beings, we always like try to set the stick really high. So when we get something that we wanted, we want more. We want more, and I believe that's the reason why we don't celebrate it, because when we get something we want even more than that. So, and I was thinking about the meme of Finding Nemo. Do you remember? I'm not sure if you watched that movie when the fishes they escaped from the aquarium, and they get to the water and they say, and now what? I believe that's the feeling when you achieve something that you worked so hard and you already did it, and now what? I want more. Yeah, that's it. That's my opinion. Thank you, guys. Let's move on to the next question. It's the question number 4, and I'm gonna ask Ebenezer, it's your turn. Please read the fourth one and answer it.
Yeah, it says, what are common signs of imposter syndrome? Well, mm, I don't know if this comes together with procrastination, but maybe I can talk about by myself, in my opinion, that it's like when uh, uh, you have prioritized things that are not really important or not are goals for your achievements, and when you are in the limit of the date, or maybe you have some time to achieve something and you didn't get it, you start feeling that you're a fraud, and maybe you're not or maybe you have doubt about your worth, and in you maybe in that situation you focus your mind in all the things that you didn't done you haven't done. So I think that it's good to remember all the things that you have done, that you have achieved, or or trying to encourage yourself that it's not about measuring successful in a period of time, and it's like it's my successful is not depending of one period of time. It depends
Mhm.
of who I am and where do I want to go, and feel that if you have failed, it's part of the learning of the learning road that you have to
Mhm.
trace. So for me, it's like some groups of pieces of things about uh, signs that could be are common in
Mhm.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Well, procrastination is related to self-sabotage. So yeah, I completely agree with that. Another thing that you said is self-doubt and just focusing on the negative things. And if we are going through a bad moment, it can be like a bad professional moment. We just focus on that period of time and we forget about all of the good things that we have already done. So I believe it's a sign of imposter syndrome, that imposter syndrome is hitting our lives. Thank you so much, Benicio, for sharing. Jubi, it's your turn. What are common signs of imposter syndromes for you?
For me, um, happened when I start to not feeling confident about my work. I don't. I I had shame to talk about what I think. I I start to procrastinate too. Um, I think both of you already said the kind of things that happens, but I spend so much time in details and not to sim- simplify the things that I had to do. I think these are the things that happened when I felt that imposter syndrome.
Yeah, the lack of confidence is a good sign, a good example. I'm sure that when you lack confidence, it's kind of difficult to share your ideas because you think that you can sound like like silly or stupid sometimes. So and you start like doubting about what you want to share. So that's the moment that you start like just letting others to share their ideas because you think your idea doesn't worth it. Another one, well, you talked about confidence, and yeah, that's it, and I agree with that. Yeah, obviously, as a result, we start or we keep procrastinating more when we lack confidence because perhaps we want to pretend that we are doing something important, but we start like doing different things, and that's the moment that as well procrastination affects our productivity. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for sharing, Ebenezer and Hubia. Let's move on to the next one. I believe that we already talked about confidence. That it's the question number 5. So we are going to skip that question. So, Hubia, could you please read the sixth one and answer it?
So why do people attribute success to luck instead of skill? Um, I I don't know. I think they talk about its luck because they don't want to show to people that they are arrogant, or they think they don't want that people think that they are better. I think we say that it was luck because we are afraid of what people could say if if we were um sincere, sincero, sincere. I think people usually say it's luck because they are afraid of what people would think if they say what they really want to say. I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry at all because it's a difficult one. I was thinking so hard about my answer, but I already know how what to say. But I would like to know from you, Ebenezer, what do you think about it? Why do people attribute success to luck instead of skill?
I think to avoid pressure, because if you say it's like it was a lot, it was I was lucky. You're saying that I'm not I'm not enforced to do it again. So it's like no one's gonna ask me for do it. So I am avoiding pressure. In this case, I think it's mechanisms to I don't know to protect yourself to uh, maybe you are in a comfort zone and you don't want to move, or it's like when you are at the same place for a lot of time and you don't want to move because of you're afraid of to fail or to discover new things, and and you don't you want to pass like I don't know the word that when you are not visible, but you understand it, like I want to be invisible and I don't want to show me like a performer. If I'm like here doing the same thing and for the rest of my life, it's okay. Because if I move out from my comfort zone, maybe I'm gonna fail. And if I fail, I'm gonna feel that I'm a fraud. For
Yeah,
me,
thanks so.
in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Ebenezer. And that's pretty interesting what you said. It's a way of self-protection when we just attribute success just to a pure luck. It's a way that the people avoid like saying or accepting that perhaps that person worked harder or she or he deserved it, and we say okay that was a pure luck, so it's perhaps something that happens with everybody, that can even it could have been me, so that's why we attribute it just to pure luck. I believe that is that's the way that I think from the perspective of people who look at someone who has achieved something. But for someone who achieved that and that person stick with that thought that it was just pure luck, I believe that it's part of the imposter syndrome. But on the other hand, it's the people who are jealous, and they don't accept that that person deserve it because of the hard work that they have done. Yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for sharing both. Let's move on to the next question. I'm not sure. I believe it's my turn to read the question, so I'm gonna read the seventh one. So let's see here. The question number seven: how can imposter syndrome impact career growth? Sorry. Well, it can completely affect negatively. People or professionals can feel stuck in a specific point, and you could like stop growing or learning new things, or finding yourself like in a comfort zone that you have already mentioned. And obviously even more with who work on IT area, it's kind of difficult to stop, because new technologies are always over there. New professionals with new skills are over there in the marketplace, and it's important to keep studying, keep practicing. So I believe that it could be detrimental just to stick in the with the same technologies in the same company, perhaps if that company doesn't offer you more ways to grow. So yeah, it's dangerous. It's perilous to stay in that, and even more if you feel the imposter syndrome. So that's my opinion. I would like to know from you, Julio, what do you think about it?
I think um, it is is not not good for growth because we I agree with what you said. I think we stop to see greater options for our career when we think that we are not good enough. We I think we we stop to study too. We don't we s- we stop where we are, and it is something that uh, um, absorbs your energy when you are working. And um, I think this is something that affect career growth because of these things.
Thank you so much for sharing, Juvia. And it's your turn, Ebenezer. What do you think about it? How can
Yeah,
imposter
I'm agree.
syndrome impact your career? Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm agree with you guys about what you have mentioned, and I think I have said something about this, about the comfort zone, about the professional growth before, when someone with the imposter syndrome uh, measures its success with the current moment. So it's if everything is working good, I'm okay, and everything's okay. But at the moment that something that comes wrong, or maybe you move a little bit from your comfort zone, it's like you get this desperate and can impact can have emotional damage for someone and can impact in different aspects of your life. So in my case, how can this impact career growth? Is because you are not pursuing promotions. You are not able to take more responsibilities because you feel safe. I'm doing this, and is that what I know to do? And for me, it's okay. And you are not maybe you don't need the you don't need or maybe you feel terrified about this of doing different things because maybe you don't someone doesn't know how to handle these situations. So for me, in my opinion, um, it I think it's like it's not lack of a skill that someone could maybe think that he has. It's more like mm, that you are not or you don't know how to face the situation when something comes wrong.
Mhm. Thanks so much, Vinicius. And one thing that you brought to the session is that we stop we start avoiding new responsibilities. We feel secure in a position, and consequently, we will miss perhaps promotions, new job chances, new job opportunities, and that's the moment that we stop growing. Well, as a matter of fact, growing. So yeah, it's difficult, and it's important to know how to handle this feeling and how to overcome this feeling. And that's it about. I believe that everybody answered this question. So let's move on to the next one. Who was the last one who read the question? Was it me? I do not remember. I'm
I
not sure.
think it
I
was you,
Yeah, it was me.
Christian.
Okay, thank you. So now it's your turn, Jubia. You can choose whatever question you want from 8 to 15.
Okay. What strategies can help overcome imposter syndrome? I think you have to always look for uh, new There's a few challenges. You have always to look for new challenges if you are working in at a place that is no opportunity. You have to study other things. You have to look for another job. Um, I think you have to start to feel confident about what you are uh, thinking at work, about what you are um, working in and doing your tasks at work. It's not easy when you are starting doing something new, but you are learning how to be confident too. So I think start to feel more confident, uh, start to look for other opportunities. I think these two things could help.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Jubia, and I completely agree with that. Perhaps trying to find new challenges. And another thing that perhaps that when we face a new challenge, we could like start thinking about little things, little victories, and I believe in that way we can regain confidence with time. Another thing that I would like to add is perhaps pursuing feedback. I believe that you can ask for your superior, like a feedback about what you have already done. It's important. So with that, you can like balance your perhaps your those bad things, those bad thoughts that you are having, and another person will tell you what you did well so far. Perhaps which parts you could improve. So I believe that it's a good way to do it, like to ask somebody, a different person to do that for you. And another one, it's as well meditation. I believe the meditation, not that way like in meditation, who people who like try to get out of your body. I believe that meditation, self awareness, I believe is a better word. Just to recap or try to remember and put in the balance all of the things that you have done, perhaps the achievements that you already have reached, the difficult perhaps at work, difficult tasks that you completed. And I believe that all of those thoughts will help you to regain self-confidence. And that's it from me. Ebenezer, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna take all the things you have said in at the finally of your speech. It's like it's what you say. Is like start to think about or try to identify if you are in or having this imposter syndrome, and do the opposite. It's like if the imposter syndrome makes you think about that you are not good in these things, or maybe you're a fraud, or you don't worth. Start think the opposite. It's like try to make a list about all the things you have done until now, all the achievements you have accomplished, and try to think that everything could be solved, and you can resolve if you have patience and have some tools to try to resolve, mm, in small pieces, something like that. I don't know. And uh, what else? Well, actually, I think that is what I think. I don't know.
Thank you so much, Ebenezer, for sharing. And something I would like to add is as well, if you need professional help, I believe it's there is a word I always forget to when I want to use it. It's worth it's something like word, but it's important to try to find professional aid if you need it. So if you already tried to do all of those strategies, to use all of them, but even though you already use them, I believe it's important to accept that you have a problem and you need professional help. So it's not bad to do that. So let's move to I believe it's gonna be the last one, or perhaps I believe it's gonna be the last one. Ebenezer, it's your turn. You can choose from 8 to 15, but not 11.
Okay. Uh, Okay, I'm gonna choose the number 12. How does comparing yourself to other increase the feelings? Yeah. I think nowadays it's common in social media, like someone that works in an international company and shows his days. Oh, I'm going to the building. They have, I don't know, a big cafeteria. They can eat everything they want, and they can sleep because they have something like cubes. Yeah, it's really interesting, and you can compare, or maybe you wish to have that position, or maybe you want to work in that international company. It's no, I think it's normal. It's normal. It's like it's I'm comparing my current life with a highlight reel that I have seen when I was scrolling. But I think you have to understand about the process, and if they can achieve, you can do it. Um, Maybe we are just dreaming the final result, and maybe we need to dream the little pieces that can build these dreams now. So try to accomplish, try to get a tutor, or maybe this or these guys that show how they got this position or this job, but try to divide in the small pieces, and not just make try to make the big jump to the final result. And don't feel that you are not that you are a fraud because of someone is successful in life. You need to believe in your process. Your own process are different besides everyone.
That was that
That's it.
was that was great, Ebenezer, and I completely agree with you about that part that you said of the journeys of the process. We all have different process. It doesn't mean if we don't get something that we want now, but we are working on that. I believe that it doesn't mean that we are not gonna get it. So it's important to keep going. And unfortunately, nowadays with social media, it's easier to compare our lives with others, and there are a lot of people who share just the results. That it's something that I don't like because it can be really disruptive to our minds, and we started like thinking that we are not capable to do great things, and there are people who makes it like they make it they make it seem like it's really easy to do all of those great things. So yeah, I believe we have to be mental prepared to stop comparing ourselves with others. And that's it. That's my comment. It's your turn, Rubia. What do you think about it? Question number 12.
Um, Comparing ourselves to others increase these feelings because we we start to think it mm, that we are sometimes we are giving all of ourselves and we don't achieve that goal, and someone achieved that goal, and they are sometimes you think you know more and the other know. We start to compare ourselves, and on social media, we only see what they want that we we see, and it's it's something like fantasy in virtual uh in these social medias and virtual life. So I think it's something hard to to do, but something that it maybe helps is to to understand that it's not the real life that we are seeing. We are just seeing what people want to share, and they don't share the bad things that happen in the way to achieve something. And we have to respect our limits, our history, and that's what I believe.
Thank you so much, Jubia. And as you said, and somebody said as well, we need to understand that social media is not real because people just are there showing little things, little parts of their lives, and it's not all of the things that are like in the background or in the backstage. And yeah, we have to understand that. Well, guys, it's been like a really good sessions. I learned so much from you as always, and I would like to leverage this time to share. Perhaps if we learn something new, if you learn something new, and or how it was for you, how was the session? How was the session for you? So I want to start with you, Jubia. How was it? And if you learned something new this evening.
Today, the subject was a little difficult to express myself in English, but I now I know more about this subject uh, with you guys that you work in the area that I want to work on my uh, next years too. And it's good to know more about these uh, tips about the subject.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I agree with you. Imposter syndrome is always a challenging topic to talk about because of the vocabulary and the ideas. And yeah, but we learned a lot this night. Thank you so much for being here again, Jubia, and for sharing your point of view. And I would like to know from you, Venicer, how was it for you, and if you learned something new?
Yeah, it was. I think it was an important session, and I have learned how to identify when imposter syndrome starts hitting your life. I think it's very important because in any part of the of your life, maybe you can face this situation, and how can overcome this syndrome, or maybe have some tools to mitigate this feeling. I appreciate it. Was really useful.
Thank you so much, guys. And I learned, well, I already knew that word that is worthwhile, but every single time that I try to use it, it runs away from my mind. but I believe that the next time I'm gonna try to use it again. And as well as you, I learned a lot of strategies and as well new words, new expressions this night. And that's it for today. I hope to see you in the next session. I'm gonna open the enrollment link tomorrow, and it's gonna be available tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you so much, and I wish you a good night, and I hope to see you in the next session. Bye bye, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Good
Goodbye.
night.
Good night.